in the Kanifing administrative area, Sanyang and Marakisa wards in the Brikama administrative area. The election is scheduled for Saturday, 14th May 2022. Pama Kankan, the IEC's communication officer, explained.
The council, the area council, that is for the Kanifing municipal council and for the Brikama area council, because those 4 councillors resigned to enable them to contest in the National Assembly elections. So meaning that the seats for those 4 councils, 4 wards are now vacant. So based on that fact, then the by-elections will be conducted on the 14th of May 2022. Of course, as a legal requirement, the elections should be conducted after 2 months of the vacancy.
Mr. Khan further stated that the nominations will start from 25th to 29 April 2022 between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. daily at the IEC regional offices in Kanifing and Brikama.
People who are interested, either from political parties or independent candidates, may come to get nominated to contest in these elections. And also, once this is completed, we will also kickstart the campaign process, which would start from the 2nd of May and would last till the 12th of May. Then the 13th of May would be a cooling off day. This is a no activity day. And then the 14th would be the E-day, the election day. So this is the program for these by-elections, and the Commission is fully prepared to conduct very free, transparent and credible by-elections.
There are requirements prescribed in the Local Government Act for anyone wishing to contest a seat. These include that the candidate must be a Gambian and registered in the area he or she is contesting, and to be supported by at least 75 voters from within that ward. Aspiring candidates should deposit $1,250, be an ordinary resident of the area, and prove their tax obligations are met. What happens if an aspiring candidate is rejected? This is what Mr. Khan tells us the procedures.
In the case somebody is rejected, the money is refundable. Of course, this is called a deposit. This is a deposit that allows you to contest and which is refundable on some conditions. One, if you reject it, it's refunded, and even if you withdraw, it is refunded, and even if you contest in the election, you win the election, it is refunded. And even if you lose with a certain percentage, it is refunded.
Mr. Khan encouraged the people of the 4 wards to come out on the 14th of May to elect their councillors, who will play a crucial role in bringing development initiatives at grassroots level in their respective communities. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
After a successful first and second rounds of polio vaccination campaign in the Gambia by the Ministry of Health and the World Health Organization, the WHO country representative, Dr. Desta Turune, has updated QTV on the progress made. Ajibintu Drame reports.
The national vaccination campaign followed the discovery of the polio virus in the country in August. The type 2 polio virus was discovered in environmental sewage samples from Banjul, Siwas and Kotu by the Ministry of Health, prompting the declaration of a public health emergency and plans to vaccinate all children under 5. Dr. Desta Tirune, the WHO country representative, says the polio vaccination was completed successfully and the target has been reached, especially in the remote areas. This, he says, will interrupt the transmission of the virus.
So with these 2 vaccination rounds, one done in last year, November, and the other one done in February, I think we might be able to stop the transmission, but we'll be monitoring the whether this has been achieved successfully. We are doing some surveillance activities. I hope we'll get good news. But if necessary, also if there is some gap, we'll be able to also cover those at least with another round or with focused round in some places where there is a gap, to make sure that the transmission is completely interrupted and polio is no more a threat.
In 2020, the WHO officially declared Africa was free of wild polio virus. In 1996, African heads of state had committed to eradicate polio during the 32nd ordinary session of the Organization of African Unity in Yaoundé, Cameroon. At the time, polio was paralyzing an estimated 75,000 children annually in Africa. Dr. Tirune further explains.
Before, there were few cases that were, few evidences from the environmentally collected samples that there is a circulation of that virus. And we are using that as a very early indication of the circulating virus. By immunizing people with the vaccine, we'll be able to stop that transmission early, and then the kids will be protected from the harmful effects of that vaccine. Once that's done, if we have interrupted that transmission, it means that all our children will be safe from all polio threats.
Paralysis is the most severe symptom associated with polio and can lead to permanent disability and death. Between 2 and 10 out of 100 people who have paralysis from poliovirus infection die because the virus affects the muscles that help them breathe. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
We'll now go for a short commercial break, and when we return, business on sports news.
This Ramadan, start your day with the goodness of Peak to help you stay nourished through the day. Encourage acts of kindness, big or small, and share love and nourishment with everyone around you. Stay nourished from Sahur to Iftar. Ramadan Kareem.
Peak. Reach for your peak.
Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, QMoney and Ria just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from Ria directly into your QMoney account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any QMoney agent across the country to receive your payment for free, or use the money immediately to buy credit, QPower, and other QMoney services. It's fast, safe, and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. QMoney, Sunu Calpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back, and thank you very much if you're just joining us. This is QTV News. And now to some business news. In business news, following complaints by Serekunda market vendors about the late start of the Korite sales, commonly known as Wanter, QTV engaged the KMC market manager, Modu Njai, to shed light on the matter. In this interview, the market manager explains reasons for this year's delay. Lole M. Camara has more.
Korite sales, or Wanter, is an annual open market held a few weeks before Eid, which attracts thousands of people who either come to shop, window shop, or just enjoy the ambience with family and friends. At the Serekunda market, the Kanifi Municipal Council is responsible for the allocation of space to vendors to display their products close to the main roads to attract more customers. Some business owners have blamed the KMC for the late start. Modu Njai, the market's manager for KMC, says the council had to consider certain factors before setting the date for sales to begin.
Right now, KMC has done every effort to make sure that Wanter take place. But the management, that's the market's management, we are trying to consider certain things which is in relation to the neighborhoods. Because we all know that the Serekunda market is being surrounded with compounds. But sometimes when this Wanter starts earlier, accessibility to their compounds is always a problem. So as a management, we recommended that we will hold on to at least make it within the last 10 days so that at least we will not be found wanting or, by the neighbors.
Modu Njai added that a letter has been sent to the Office of the Inspector General of Police requesting 10 days permit, which has now been granted.
Approval has been given, and inshallah tomorrow Saturday Wanter will start within the Serekunda market. Now we're going to allocate them with tables as usual. The priority is being given to the vendors within the markets. Then the rest, anybody who wants, you are entitled to get, and we will allocate it.
Because a lot of waste and garbage accumulates during this type of events, Mr. Njai said the KMC has placed in measures to keep the environment clean.
Simply because arrangements have been made between the management, that's the market unit, and the environment and sanitation, to make sure that every night the truck comes and then collects all the waste, because we don't want it to be jam-packed to a level that is going to create more problem. So it will be a daily routine collection of the garbage. So that's why this time we're going to allow only pallets be placed on the ground, and during the night, when the truck comes, we can easily move it and then collect the waste.
Jai urged vendors to exercise patience and comply with the authorities in paying their daily $10 fees. He assured all of the presence of the municipal police officers for the safety and security of vendors and the public. For QTV News, Lolly M. Camara.
From that report by Lolly M. Camara, next is sports news. In sports news, ahead of the final selection for the upcoming Under-15 Norway Cup to be played in Sweden, officials of the Gambia's Norway Cup Committee Thursday met the Minister of Youth and Sports. Speaking at a closed-door meeting, the minister called on partners to help the country build a strong foundation for football growth. Ansumane Sonyasi reports.
In a message to stakeholders, the minister expressed his delight at the return of the Norway Cup, a tournament he says has contributed immensely to the growth of Gambian football. Endorsing and pledging the ministry's full support, the Minister for Youth and Sports, Bakari Baji, implores partners to help maintain the country's admirable Norway Cup history by providing the team with all the required resources to succeed in the tournament to be hosted by Sweden in July.
Myself, as the Minister, and the entire Ministry of Youth and Sports endorses the Norway Cup, and want to call on every Gambian who can to support the initiative, because the idea is to organize a nationwide tournament and recruit the best of under 15 that can go out there and participate on behalf of the country.
He also expressed the importance of participating in such tournaments, saying it helps expose young Gambian players to sporting facilities that are of international standard, and went on to cite the country's recent historic feat in football as a clear manifestation of the impact of such tournaments, as some key members of the current national team participated in the Norway Cup during their formative years.
We want to support this idea, and when the time comes, and so our young people go out there and do best. So the ministry stands ready to work with the ambassador, and of course, ASISCOR and everyone that is part of the initiative to see to it that we don't just participate, but we make success, we register success out there in Sweden.
With the Gambia's Norway Cup officials set to hold final selection sessions in a mini-tournament to be played at Q City on Saturday, April 23rd and Sunday, April 24th, respectively. Former Gambian international ASISCOR Nyang, a senior member of the Gambia's Norway Cup Committee, says the selection process for this year's tournament will be more intense compared to previous editions.
It's very important so that all the youths know that they can have a chance and be somebody and go to Norway to just represent the country in this youth, because all over the world, they have teams from all over the world, from Brazil to South America, Africa and Europe, everywhere. And it's going to be a very good experience for the youths.
Teams and football academies from all regions of the country will take part in the two-day tournament, during which officials will select the team to represent the country in Sweden. This is to ensure a fair selection and to create equal opportunities between players in the Greater Banjul area and those in the provinces. Meanwhile, the Gambia Football Federation has also pledged to support the Gambia's Under-15 Norway Cup team. Ansumane Sonyasi for QTV News.
From that report, now we have a recap of our main news headlines. Former member of the ex-President Jammeh's notorious hit squad, also known as the Junglers, is to face charges of crimes against humanity on Monday in Germany. The Independent Electoral Commission on Friday briefed QTV on the nomination campaign period and the date for the upcoming by-election set to take place on 14 May 2022 in Canifing Municipal Council and also in the West Coast region. In business news, following complaints by Serekunda market vendors about the late start of Korite Sales, commonly known as Wanter, QTV engaged the KMC market manager Modu Njai, who said sales or Wanter will commence tomorrow. And in sports news, ahead of the final selection for the upcoming Under-15 Norway Cup to be played in Sweden, officials of the Gambia's Norway Cup Committee on Thursday met the Minister of Youth and Sports. That's all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Thank you very much for watching. Join us tomorrow again for more news.